Stanley, page 47. Don't be silly, Stanley. Lots of babies are born without hair. It grows within a few months, I whispered. I hoped this would shut him up. This was very foolish of me. Stanley was on a roll. He wasn't going to be put down that easily. It mightn't grow, Daddy. Look at that skinny little man over there talking to the woman with the beard. His hair never grew. It was one of those moments when I just wished I could be transported elsewhere, preferably to a Stanley-free planet. The couple across from us scowled as Burr and I timidly smiled at them with a "sure, he's only a child" look on each of our faces. They were obviously not amused and resumed their conversation, shooting the odd frosty glare in our direction. It was the only occasion in my life when I was sorry that I had hair. Stanley was totally unaware of the fact that he had insulted anybody. He just continued to stare into the cot. He eyed Cora with a mischievous glint. His nose twitched again. I had to be quick before he caused even more trouble. This one is Sinead, and this one is Cora. Do you like the names, Stanley? Yes, he replied without enthusiasm. Nevertheless, I was relieved with his reply and hoped that the lady in the opposite bed might possibly have been named either Cora or Sinead. Stanley was obviously not too happy about being the brother of unidentical twins. Cora's lack of both body weight and hair had also caused him some concern. However, as we drove him home from the hospital afterwards, I felt that it had been a good idea to let him see them before they were brought home. I was glad at least that he liked their names. The following day, the twins came home. While Burr was in hospital, I had decorated the spare room, converting it into a pink-walled nursery. Stanley, of course, had helped with the painting, although I had to persuade him that pink was a far more suitable colour for a girl's bedroom than his choice of nearly black. The first few weeks turned out to be almost trouble-free. The twins continued to be the model infants they had been in the hospital, and Stanley himself stayed very much out of trouble. Obviously, he was a little upset at the intrusion of two new small people into a house where up to now he alone had been the centre of attention. Burr had always believed that this was not a healthy situation for a boy like Stanley. He was so crazy that the more attention he received, the more crazy he seemed to become. She believed that sharing the house with two little sisters would make him far less the monster he had been up to now. Burr was right. Well, she was right for a few weeks at least. Stanley toddled around the house, occupying himself with the minimum of bother. He would spend hours in her own room, playing cheerfully with toys. In his own room, playing cheerfully with toys. He was very gentle with his sisters.